Alright, so at number 6 we have Princess Kaguya. I feel like this is one of Ghibli's most underrated movies as well, like My Neighbors the Yamadas and Only Yesterday. I feel like this one is, however, more appreciated on the community and is the only other Ghibli movie that has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, just like Only Yesterday. So, Princess Kaguya is one of those very artsy movies. It has a very different style from Ghibli's other works, and it's more of this like sketchy, rough, light pencil style. And I think this movie is absolutely beautiful. I was very afraid when I watched this movie that I wouldn't like it as much because a lot of the criticism that comes with this movie is that it's way too long and you feel it and it drags out. But personally, I didn't feel that at all. This movie for me just went by in a flash, and I can understand why some people think it's dragged out and boring. But because I liked the art so much, because the whole aesthetic and energy that this movie brings is so calming and soothing, I felt like that the time didn't really pass for me. When the movie ended, I was like, oh damn, that was like 2 hours. I thought that was like maybe an hour and a half. It didn't feel like those 2 hours. And for me to say that, even though that a lot of other people don't agree with that, it really accentuates to me the fact that I think that this movie is better than people give it credit for, and that I personally really like it more than the other entries. So the interesting thing about this movie is that it's based on a very old Japanese folklore about a girl, a princess, who is born out of bamboo. And I think she brings a lot of gold at first and a lot of fortune to the mom and dad who find her, who, by the way, they wanted a daughter really bad, but the mom couldn't have kids, and I don't know, the gods gave her this girl. But instead of just living a normal life with the little girl, the parents think it's a great idea to send her off to live in a castle for like fucking trapped for the rest of her life, like just living in this castle and not letting her really live, because they wanted to keep her safe and they wanted to treat her like the princess that she is, right? And I feel like that part of the movie really annoys me. I really hate that because Princess Kaguya had two opportunities to fucking run away from this life and be happy. From the beginning of the movie, you can tell, like, before she goes into the castle, she's like a little girl, right? She's like 6, 7 more or less, and she gets raised in this village, and you can tell that she has a thing for one of the village boys, like one of the older village boys, right? So the two instances where I feel like Princess Kaguya could have simply just like say no or run away would be at that very beginning, where she could have just said to her dad, like, I don't know, I want to stay here, and if the dad would disagree, then she could just run away with the boy. Like, I feel like it's something they would do. Maybe the guy even suggested at one point, but I don't remember that very clearly, so take my words for a pinch of salt. And there is another, but like, I also understand that she's a little girl. Obviously, she's going to obey her parents, right? But when she gets older, like she's still extremely obedient. Like she's just like she like has no fighting spirit, no free will to like get what you want, which is freedom from this castle. It's like not live this life anymore. She just happily obliges to everything. And it's like I don't understand why she doesn't even try to say something against her parents. Like, come on, like break their hearts. I don't care. Just fight for your happiness, you know? Because in the middle of the movie, or three-fourths of the way in, there is another scene where she goes on this parade and she's in like the cart. She sees like the boy from her childhood, now a man, right, who's like stealing stuff or whatever. And they lock eye to eye. They're like this close, right? She's in the carriage and he's here. Like she could have like easily gotten out of the carriage, right? There was nothing stopping her from leaving the carriage and just running away with him. But no, she just like stays there and stares at him until he gets taken away, which is so fucking stupid. Like, I don't understand why Princess Kaguya couldn't just choose to be happy. Because there are parts of this movie, like, there's a segment with Princess in the movie. Her parents want to marry her off to these princes, and she's like, I don't want to marry any of them. So she sets some on these ridiculous quests. It even gets, like, I'm not gonna say it because, like, spoilers, but, but it's like the results of all that shenanigans, like, of the quest that she sends them is not happy, right? It's not a good thing. And like she eventually, finally, after so long, she finally runs away, and the scene for that is actually very beautiful. It's like this sketchy, violent, running, gorgeous thing. It's a very nice scene. I really like this movie, but honestly, it's a tragedy. It really is. It makes me so sad that she could have chosen to be happy. She could have at least tried harder to be happy, or like actually get what she wanted. But no, she just like she accepts everything, right? She accepts everything, and I don't know, that really bothers me. I rather not talk about as well the ending of this movie, because there are like two parts of the ending, and I don't want to spoil it for you all, but it's tragic. Like I said, it's like this is a tragedy. This movie is a drama. It is a tragic movie. So if you're not ready to be sad or even cry, I wouldn't watch it. But if you're ready to watch a very emotional film who's very artistic, I highly recommend this one. It's very beautiful to look at, and it's very like heartwarming story as well. But before I leave, I wanted to leave you guys with a quote that of a philosopher this movie really made me remember. The quote is, "Marry and you will regret it. Don't marry and you will regret it. Marry or don't marry, you will regret either way." And the quote like goes on. The point of the quote is like, life is always filled with regret. So maybe if Kaguya had followed her heart and just left with the boy and been happy, she could have had regret in her life. I mean, she chose that life, right? And she chose to suffer for some reason. Like, I don't know why you would choose to suffer, but that's what she chose, right? And she regretted that. But maybe if she chose happiness, she would have regretted it as well. Like, maybe things wouldn't have worked out. So I don't know, I thought it was a very nice thing to think about, is what the movie reminded me of. And yeah, like I said, I really recommend it, and I hope you guys check it out.